everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited. We're back with another what I read this month. This is for the month of August, which I cannot believe it's already September. Let me just say that. I will say though, I am sick of summer, and I think it's because I've been like working and doing stuff and like not been outside. So when I do go outside, it's just like way too hot and I'm just like ready for fall. I'm excited for fall clothing, fall Starbucks drinks, fall literally everything. I'm excited to go move out and go to school. I'm just excited. So I am going to be showing you my books that I read this month. I have honestly a good amount of paperbacks this month. I only read like I think 2 on my Kindle, and then the rest are paperbacks that I bought, which I don't know, I think I was just like needed a little bit of a break from my Kindle, but we'll get back onto her soon. So before I get started, I do want to talk about book of the month. This is an amazing subscription company. If you're into reading, which I'm sure that you click this video, but you are, this is for you. So basically you open it up, you get to choose books. I'll tell you about it in a second, but I actually have 5 books I'm going to tell you about. But let me tell you about book of the month first. Book of the month, as you can see, is a super popular and fast growing online book service for readers. Basically their mission is to promote new and emerging authors, which is so nice of them, to help readers discover books they love, so you get a win-win. So basically how it works is their team vets hundreds of books each month and gives the readers their choice from a curated selection of early releases. You can spend more time reading and less time searching for books, which is amazing. It gives you an easier way to choose and get books. The best part is that they're risk-free. You can skip any month, anytime, and you will not be charged. So say you need to take a month off from getting any new books, you can do that and you will not be penalized from doing so. And they do only ship to the US, so definitely keep that in mind. So the books that I got, the one in here is called Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeny. It's basically a thriller about a couple who goes away and something happens, which I love thrillers, so this is going to be a good read. And then I have The Neighbor's Secret, so this is more of like a mystery. Something happens within the neighborhood, which should be very interesting. And then I have Beautiful Country. This is about a Chinese family who comes to America, and it's basically about their, or really the child's journey and what happens when she gets here and tries to navigate the new country. And then this is The Sweetest Remedy. It's basically about a woman who goes back to her home country in Nigeria, and she's never met her family, so she like re-meets her family, and then like a love ensues, the whole thing. So that should be fun to read. And then I chose this book, The Love Hypothesis by Hazelwood. So excited to read this one. This was a contemporary romance, again, right up my alley. I'm so excited for this one. So you can head to bookofthemonth.com to check out their other picks and use code FALL5, which I'll put on the screen, to get your first book for $9.99, which is a steal, especially for a hardcover, new releases. Alright, so in my notes, I have to pull them up because as I go and read my books, I write out my thoughts about each one so that when I film this video, I have it all together, because honestly, I forget after I read a book and start a new one what I was thinking when I was reading it for the most part, so I have it written out in my notes if you see me looking down. First one I read this month was Hopeless by Colleen Hoover. So I'll just give you my rating and then I'll give you the summary and then why I rated that. So we know I'm a Colleen Hoover stan. We know I love her books. I rave about them. And this one definitely on the top of my list. And I say that about every single one that I end up reading, but this one definitely got me. So I rated it a 4 out of 5 because, well, I'll tell you what it's about. So this girl, her name is Sky. She's adopted by a woman named Karen who doesn't really, she's kind of strict. She doesn't give her any technology or anything like that. So Sky just like runs. That's like her thing. And then she meets this guy named Holder who just takes like an instant interest in her, which I didn't love that part because I felt like it was too predictable. That's why I gave it a 4 out of 5, because the beginning was too, I don't know, just really predictable and I didn't love that part. But Holder is really mysterious. He's really interested in Sky, which gives it a little bit of like a mysterious thing, which I didn't love Holder at first, but Colleen always throws in the twist, as I say. And this time when it came, I was reading in bed, turned my Kindle off, and I had to go to bed. I was like, I have to process this because I didn't see it coming at all, freaking out. And then once that happened, it just like spiraled, like event after event after event, and it was crazy. There was so much going on, I just couldn't guess any of it, and it just like blows up. So this was so good. I did not expect it to be about this, but one of my favorite Colleen books ever, definitely high on the list, so I highly recommend this read. So then I read 28 Summers by Hilterbrand, which I have the book. I read this when I was away on a little vacation. It's definitely a summer read. I feel like all of Ellen's books are more of a summer read because they usually take place on Nantucket, but this one was so good. I like how Ellen, oh, did I say I rated it a 4 out of 5? I rated it a 4 out of 5, but I like how Ellen doesn't write in just first person. Like, she gives everyone's point of view, which when something's like going on, like you can see how everyone is reacting to it, which is my favorite. It's basically about a woman named Mallory. She's dying and tells her son to look at this note for a number to call, and he calls, and the guy that picks up is the husband of a woman who's, I think she's either president or running or something like that in the political world pretty famous, and when he answers the phone, the son is like, how do you know this man? And then it flashes back to Mallory and what is his name? Jake. Mallory and Jake, they spent once a year, one weekend over the year, I think it was Memorial Day weekend maybe, together. They were very much in love, but they just never ended up being together, but they did spend every year together, and it's kind of just them. It gives me November 9th vibes now that I'm thinking about it, but it was so good. I feel like it could have gotten really repetitive because of how many summers they spent together, but it didn't, which was amazing. Oh, and also there wasn't any crazy twists, which I usually like in my books, but it was really just like just really good. It was kind of heartbreaking. I cried so hard, but I definitely do recommend this. Back to my Kindle, I read The Spanish Love Deception, which is definitely a big one I feel like on TikTok right now. I read it right after The Hating Game, which I don't think I should have done because they're so incredibly similar. But I did rate this a 3 out of 5. I didn't love this book, which is surprising because usually I love these contemporary romances and those kinds of books, but this one was about a woman named Catalina, and she works in an office with a guy named Aaron, and she's like freaking out because she needs a date to her sister's wedding because her ex is gonna be there, and God forbid her family sees her without another man, which I was just like, why is it that big of a deal? Like, it was literally made such a big deal of that she's gonna show up without a date, and I was like, okay, that's like annoying. But Aaron says like, I'll come with you, and they are enemies to lovers book. But the thing is, it's very clear from the start that Aaron doesn't hate Catalina. Catalina hates Aaron, so it's just like, I don't know, they could have spoken about it. I just didn't love the character. I literally was 100 pages left of the book and they didn't even kiss yet. I don't know, way too slow of a burn for me. I didn't like it. I think it's because The Hating Game I read right before, like I said, and it was also two people that work together, enemies to lovers, and it was just way too similar. But I liked The Hating Game 100 times more. So if you're looking for one, enemies to lovers, workplace romance type of thing, I loved The Hating Game a lot more, but it just wasn't my favorite. Yeah, so that's that one. Oh, and at the end of the book, spoiler alert if you didn't read, real quick, at the end of Spanish Love Deception, he was in the hospital and his dad was severely sick, and that was where Catalina came to confess her love to him and their love to each other. And I was reading it and I was like, this is not the time or place to be sitting with each other confessing your love for each other when across the hall his father is like dying. I just thought that was so weird. I really didn't like that. So alright, Winter in Paradise I read after that, which was another Hilderbrand book. It's actually a trilogy. I only read the first one. I have the second one like right here. I just didn't get to it yet, but I've been holding this trilogy off for so long, but I wanted to read it so bad because I've heard so many good things about it, and I think I gave this a 4 out of 5. It was so good. I'm so excited to read the rest. Basically, it's this woman named Irene. She gets a call one day that her husband died in a helicopter crash, and it was in a Caribbean, and basically had a whole different life than her and her 2 sons knew about. So her and her 2 sons have to go over there, see his whole life on that island with all the people there, and figure out what happened and what he was doing there. So this was very good. I'm very excited to read the rest of it. But I love Ellen's writing. I love, again, that it's not in first person, that I see everyone's point of view. There's so many characters in there that I wasn't expecting, and it was so nice. I loved that one. Also, that book was so realistic. Like, I feel like this could happen even though it's like a crazy story, which I love about Ellen's writing. All of her books I feel like are things that could be happening like at this very moment. They're not like too, either what I read is like too fan fiction-y or Wattpad, or too like unrealistic, and this was just like all of her books I feel like could happen, and I think that's what I really like about them. But there was also in this book kind of like a secret going around, and like the reader knows but like one of the characters didn't know, and I just hate when that happens, like when I know something but they don't speak about it. So that was all irritating, but it was a great book. I'm very excited. I'm gonna read the second one very soon. Okay, and then I read Song of Achilles. So I posted a reading vlog of this, so I'm not really gonna say anything about it. I rated it a 3 out of 5. Greek mythology. Honestly, I'm not really gonna say anything. If you want to know my thoughts and why I rated it that, just go watch the reading vlog. But yeah, I did read that. Every Last Word. So I actually haven't seen this too many places, but I've seen it on TikTok a few times. And a few months ago when I was in school last semester, I gave someone my address and I sent my favorite book, and then it kept going. So I got books sent to me and I sent my favorite book to someone. I don't really remember what it was, but I got this sent to me, and it came with a note from a girl who sent it, said it's her favorite book. She's read it so many times, so I kind of put it off, but then I saw it on TikTok a few times. I was like, wait, I have that book. That's this one, Every Last Word by Tamara Ireland Stone. I rated this, I think, a 4 out of 5. I was obsessed with this book. It's about Samantha. She's like one of the popular girls, but she has really bad like OCD and anxiety and stuff. She meets these people that have a secret like poets club, so she joins them but doesn't tell her friends because her friends are like snotty, very toxic, and basically it's her kind of figuring out herself a little bit. I loved this book a lot. This is a book you would read in like middle school to high school, and it definitely, as soon as I started reading it, gave off like one of those movies you'd see on like a Netflix original, like Kissing Booth or something. Like that's how I pictured it. Like it definitely looked like a cheesy type of movie that would come from this, but I thought it was really good. I think everyone kind of needs to read this. I loved it. The ending is something I didn't expect. The beginning was definitely cheesy, predictable, that kind of stuff, but it's still kept me and I still liked it, but the ending, didn't expect the ending, and I thought it was so good. So I highly recommend this. I think that everyone needs to read this. I didn't think there would be romance in it. There is romance, but I don't know, I loved that aspect. I loved the friend dynamic and how it shows high school toxicity. I don't know, I loved it so much. I think everyone needs to read it, like I said. All right, and then I finished this today, Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas. This book, I actually didn't rate it yet. I didn't put it on my Goodreads, which I'm gonna have to do. I think I would rate it like a 3 or 4 out of 5. It's definitely not my favorite. It definitely had an ending I didn't expect, but it's basically about a guy named Misha, girl named Ryan. They get put together in I think 5th grade to be pen pals, and they end up writing each other for like 7-8 years, and then one day Misha just stops writing Ryan, and she's like, why? Misha ends up meeting Ryan, but Ryan doesn't know it's him, but he knows it's her because he looked her up. But they had this whole thing where like they weren't gonna look each other up, but he ends up doing it, and so he met her, and she's not who he thought she was gonna be from the descriptions in her letters, because I've never seen each other. The whole thing, I don't really want to spoil it, but what I didn't like, it was gave off very big Wattpad fan fiction to like max amounts. Like it was so cringy to read at some points, but like the storyline wasn't that bad. I also don't love like when there's like bad boy and bad girl, like too much of that dynamic. Not my favorite. I mean, it wasn't bad though, it's just like it got too much at some points. Like Penelope really throws some crazy like dirty things in there, and it was just like, I don't know, some of it wasn't needed, but I did love the story. Characters, a little iffy. Story, I loved the ending. Again, I did not expect, but I think I would recommend it. I feel like if you liked contemporary romances, this is just like to the next level. I feel like it also has like a little bit of a mystery in there. I don't know. It was okay. It was good. Not my favorite though. I think I would rate it a 3.5 out of 5. My Goodreads is also linked down below if you're interested in following my reviews. I actually don't review anything. I just like update what I'm reading on here just to keep track for myself. My next book that I'm reading is the second Winter in Paradise. It's called What Happens in Paradise. And then I just got this book, In 5 Years by Rebecca Searle, I think you say it. I am so excited to read this. It's out next on my list. I am planning another book talk video of books I've seen on TikTok and like how I feel about them, and then I also want to read a few of Steph Borer's 5-star rated books and see how I feel about them, because one of them is a Penelope Douglas book called Birthday Girl, I think, but we'll see. Those are just some ideas I have for upcoming book videos because I know you guys like them. But yeah, that was today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed what I read. If you have any recommendations for any books that you want me to read for my next what I read, leave them down below. Let me know what you thought. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to see more from me in the future, and I'll see you guys hopefully in the next one. Bye!